The book of Proverbs, verse 33. The lot is cast into the lap, but its every decision is from the Lord. So how is everybody doing today? This is Philip from Christian Connoisseur. Okay, so I'm going to do this a little bit differently. I think I'm going to try playing the game while I do the video. I don't know. Maybe this is a bad decision, but we'll see. Okay, so I was going to talk about this movie that came out. It's going on a little bit around Easter time. I don't know if this will come out during Easter, but I saw the movie The King of Kings. So I was going to talk about it and I guess kind of do a little bit like a Christian review on it. And I mean, this is the kind of thing that I like doing on the channel more now, is just kind of like doing some little reviews on some stuff. Okay, so this is kind of just like a little bit like off the cuff. I just kind of like give some thoughts about stuff. Okay, so the movie itself, honestly, I thought the movie was pretty good. And okay, so my expectations going into the movie was that I didn't think it was going to be very good. I thought it was going to be kind of like a mid, maybe even just like a terrible movie, to be honest. But I decided to go, and I ended up watching it. And honestly, I was pretty happy with it overall. So it ended up working out pretty good. So the movie, again, I'm not gonna try to give like heavy spoilers. I'm gonna be real with somebody. Like, there's not like, it's based around the gospel, right? So, but there's a little bit of some spoilers here and there. It's not like, this isn't the kind of movie like, you're gonna get like heavy spoilers, right? There's not much. There's a small story to it, but it's not like that big of a deal. Okay, so it's based around the idea of, there's this like family drama, and like there's this dad and this son having these issues between each other, and like this son, he wants to become like, he likes the idea of like King Arthur and being like like the whole like little chivalry thing and stuff, and he wants to know more about being like a king. And like his dad and his son have this big like little argument and fight. So the dad lets the son go to his little office, and basically he tells him the story, and the story is about the gospel of Christ. So overall, I came in with the expectations that the movie was just going to be kind of mid. And frankly, the movie, in my opinion, I thought it was actually like really, really good. And it talked about the Lord Jesus Christ. And it talked about his death and his burial and his resurrection. It went into pretty good detail about a lot of that stuff. Now, I know the movie was kind of kiddified a little bit, but it was pretty deep. And like the animation, I thought, was quite good. And like he went with his son, like he kind of was explaining the gospel to him, also showing him kind of like his son was kind of imagining this all in his mind as it was happening. But overall, I thought it was a really good movie. Okay, so I'm not sure how long I can make this or what I can really talk about too much. There was some moments where his father kind of was maybe resembling Christ a little bit. You never expect a humbling man. Um, but I mean, overall, the movie I thought was was really, really good. So, oh yeah. So like, he was seeing his father kind of like, again, he was seeing his father as like Christ a little bit in the movie. I feel like there was a moment where there was the Lord himself, and you know, their depiction of how they thought he was supposed to look like or talk like. He was there, and you kind of cutscene away, and like his son kind of saw, like, you know, his dad kind of like Christ a little bit, because he was very mad at him, and there's this big drama going back and forth, but it ended up, then there was some really like heartfelt moments where they had like, and like you kind of saw like through like the Gospels of Christ through kind of like a kid's perspective and point of view, instead of like, you know, you saw it through like his son's point of view, where so like you saw, like, you know, we're going to Bethlehem, and you know, when the Lord was going to be born, and you saw like his son, you felt his emotions a lot, and it was pretty deep, and then eventually, like, there's like the King Herod, where he went out and he was like, he's gonna kill all the baby children in the city, or in the little town, to try to make sure that this new king wouldn't come up, because he felt threatened. And like his son seeing this is like, you know, a deeply heartfelt moment. And there was some pretty, like, you know, strong moments. And we went through it at one point, and he was talking about the idea of sin, and like, you know, why we needed the gospel. And like, it was pretty good. Like, it was pretty accurate, I would say, to the stories of the Gospels. I mean, I would say it was very faithful for the most part. It's like, maybe some of their translations sometimes are like a little bit different. They use a little bit different words sometimes than I'm normally accustomed to. But I mean, for the most part, I mean, if I'm not being nitpicky, it was basically like, it was pretty spot on for the most part. And I felt like I was pretty happy with it. But so yeah, I mean, I don't really have any like real complaints with it necessarily. And like, again, it was really like very heartfelt and like emotional at times, and like it showed his resurrection. And like, okay, so like they also, like, the movie, it, like, again, it was kidified, and it was probably shortened. Also, they kind of like fast forward through a handful of scenes that it's like, I understand they didn't want to make the movie like forever long, but it did feel like it was, I'm not gonna say it was like rushed. This is Progenitus. I don't want to say it's like rushed or anything, but like, it definitely felt very quick at times. But I mean, I was, for the most part, oh, this is sorcerer speed. I would say that it was pretty high quality at the same time. So it's like, again, like, also the animations I felt were pretty good. It was fairly high quality. Overall, it was well done, and it was well made. And they had, it was pretty concise. I think it was like an hour and 40 minutes long. So it was pretty concise, which I feel like definitely helps a lot. The movie didn't feel like it was forever, like it wasn't like forever long, but it had enough. It got to the point, and it explained stuff. It explained it pretty good, right? So there was that. So like, again, like it showed Christ as being I think my opponent's gonna scoop here. It's pretty gross. Oh gosh, this is kind of disgusting. Okay. Okay. So yeah. It showed like King Arthur versus the Lord Jesus Christ. And like King Arthur, he had like a sword, and in the story talking about he's like a magic sword, who's gonna come through and like, he's gonna solve the problems, right? Like, how is he gonna defeat this? He's gonna use his sword, and he's gonna cut down his enemies, and like, he's gonna become king by using like conquest. And he has, there's King Arthur, and there's like, the Knights of the Round Table. They come in, generally it's like bravery and bravado and power, and they use like, magic, and there's a whole bunch of stuff, right? And they come in and they just destroy their enemies, and that's how they're gonna win. But the Lord Jesus Christ, the gospel, him being the king, it is depicted more through things like humility and him being meek. And he's like, he doesn't fight his way through with like a sword. He demonstrates it through like, submitting to God's will instead. Why he's like the ultimate king, because because instead of using force, he uses like humility. So it shows the depictions between different kings, and why the Lord Jesus Christ is known. What movie is called The King of Kings, right? So, that's a good card. I should get that. So, and then like you showed like King Harold, for example, why he was like a ruthless, greedy monster. And then you have like, again, like, all the different types of kings, the sins they commit, and the mistakes they make, and and you see Christ, and he's regarded as perfect. So it's just the kind of movie I feel like that's very well made. And it has a strong message to it. Yeah, again, like you see, like even like you have Pontius Pilate. I don't know, he wasn't like really like the king, but he was a massive leadership figure. And, like, he really didn't care much about the people very much. He didn't really. And you had like the Jews. You had like the leader of the Jews. And then you had like you had a handful of other people, right? You see like people of the world. You see the religious people. You see people who are like corrupt. And like again, like then you see the Lord Jesus Christ, and he comes along. And how he handles the situation, right? And it shows you like what a true king is supposed to be, and how and why. and why he's the best king, and all these other kings they fail. So, I mean, I think those are some different strong points to it. It's good for Easter too. So again, overall, I would say that I personally was pretty happy I went and saw it. It had top-notch animation, strong message and story. It didn't have all that bad garbage in it. It was concise enough that it didn't need to be sometimes a movie doesn't have to go on forever either. So overall, I mean, I did think it was pretty solid. So, I mean, I definitely would recommend it. I definitely would say that I recommend it, right? And, I mean, it had some strong... It had a lot of good things to it. And... Oh yeah, also again, it's like sometimes I also would say that the gospel of Christ, it's important that they keep making movies like this kind of stuff that comes out, because you need to keep hearing about the gospel, and you need to keep seeing it, and having access to this stuff is definitely very important. Oh my gosh. So, overall, I was pretty happy with the movie. I mean, I would definitely recommend it. And I know if I'm being real with somebody, there's... I mean, the plot is pretty simple, right? So it's there's not much there for the plot, but overall, and yeah, I mean, everyone kind of gets together and they all get along and everything kind of works out in the end. But yeah, but overall, I mean, the movie was quite good. Yeah, I'm pretty much lost this game. So yeah, I mean, I want to keep making more of these little Christian reviews or whatever too. I know my channel's been kind of sketchy. I haven't been making too much content on it, and the channel's just kind of I don't know. I have a hard time sometimes always making enough content, and it's I'm not really I don't do walkthroughs and stuff. So it's I mean, I want to make more commentary. Again, I feel I gotta be somewhat controlled and restrained too. I would like to go through and maybe find some other Christian content that I could talk about or make. But I feel yeah, I'm gonna end this video here soon. But yeah, I mean, when I go to see a movie in the movie theater, or maybe I play a new video game or something, or some new product comes out, or I mean, it can be of the faith. I mean, there's plenty of secular stuff too, right? I mean, I would like to just make some more little videos, but I mean, I don't want to make them forever long. 20 minutes here is what's currently I'm at. I think that's pretty good. But yeah, yeah, I definitely say it was a very good, well-made movie. You know, it's some good family structure values. It has the gospel in it. I definitely would recommend it. So yeah, you know, thank you for watching. You know, I appreciate it. You know, I'm humbled. You know, I give thanks to God for what I have that's good. And I appreciate it. You know, thanks for watching.